Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Today, we're going to focus on Ukraine and Russia. Now, there's a reason why we're doing that. Let me see if you can join me. Those of you watching, if you're watching me. So the reason why we're good afternoon to you, or welcome on board. You're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. You can see there's a context behind me. There's a picture. This is a live picture of BBC. We'll be dipping in and out from time to time to be into there to see what's happened. Let me just show you another picture quickly of what is happening in Ukraine and all of that, and so to give us a bit of background. As you come in, please do share. Let's go and look at something quickly. Is that it? Yeah, I think it is there. Okay, so now I'm just gonna put this picture up so you'll see it. Apologies for yesterday's issue with the program, with things sort of not working, but you know, we're glad to be back. Now, what you see on there is a picture. Good afternoon to you. Yes. Any breakup, United Nations bear stop war. Exactly. So exactly. Good afternoon. Social Sunday. Good afternoon. Look at the picture. This happened in Ukraine today. Russia has gone in and they've done this to the buildings. From reports, we're hearing that between 5 or 6 people have been killed. Let me see if I can find that update. We're understanding that possibly 5 to 6 people have been killed. Let's have a look. So it is just important for us to now understand and keep in mind what is happening to Ukraine now. This has been happening to us every day in that contraction. Southerners, in fact, the whole of the country. But for our own purposes, we are focusing on the south. The picture you see is the destruction on ground. Good afternoon, those of you on YouTube watching us. If you're just joining us, you're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I felt it was a good point to talk about. Good afternoon, Diamati Muraina, Terry Omaladi, Vivian Tiger. Good afternoon. Yes. Thank you. Omar Sisi. Thank you very much. So, good afternoon to you all. Now, the reason why the picture here is about the picture of the destruction caused following the attack by Russia in Ukraine. Now, many people know the background. The brief background of Ukraine was that Ukraine used to be part of Russia. Before the perestroika, before Gorbachev, before all of that. Those who are in the know will know the story. And what is now happening? What is now happening is that over time, the Ukrainians declared independence. They separated. They became recognized by the UN. As we speak, they are trying to join the NATO to give themselves protection. So there's history between Russia and Kiev, and there is interconnection between them. The point that we need to be aware of in all of this is, what can we learn from this? What can we learn from this as separate, as people who are going for Yoruba nation, Igbo nation, in Middle Belt? What can we learn? And I wanted to just really talk about that from that point of view. Interesting. Today, I'm going to play something to you, and I'm going to show you a picture. So I'll come back. Let's bring this now. I'm going to play something back to you, and you will hear what the European female minister said. Let's have a look. If I can find it. I hope I can find it for you. So now, in fact, let's look at the attack first. Here we go. Let's look at the attack. Here we go. So let's have a look. Now, so one minute.
He doubted that he would do it.
So now,
not anymore.
there we go. So
warned Vladimir Putin was about to attack. He said he had no such plans.
Now, so that's the attack that's going on.
Now utterly exposed.
That is the attack that's happening. This is courtesy of BBC. So they've been attacked now in Kiev. There you go. See, so that's what's happening. See, everybody's afraid, and that's a picture today. You can see that.
Frankivsk in the far south.
Frankivsk in the southwest.
An airport.
Now,
Unverified images from Ukraine's northern and southern borders seem to show columns of Russian armor entering from Belarus and Crimea.
right, there we go.
Within hours,
So-
tanks were reported to be on the streets of Ukraine's second largest city, Kharkiv.
Now, I'm just showing you all of this, and that's
Russia says this attack will not be surgical.
there we go. You see,
East of Kharkiv,
that's the picture that you saw. The picture, this picture here. Let me bring that picture back up again. So I want you to just see that there. That's the same picture of that place there. So you can all agree that is it. So let's play on.
emergency workers battle to control fires in residential buildings hit by rockets.
Yeah.
The number of civilian casualties is rising.
So here we go. So now,
Mariupol in the south, another airport on fire. This country's civilian infrastructure is being heavily struck. There are no more flights in or out.
there we go.
A glance at the map shows a country under attack from east to west, north to south.
So
Earlier, a snarling Russian leader said this was all in self-defense and warned Ukrainians to lay down their arms.
We will strive for the demilitarization and denazification of Ukraine. Russia cannot feel safe, develop and exist with a constant threat emanating from the territory of modern Ukraine.
So,
In Kiev,
and that's the Kiev.
Untitled president, who is now fear for his job, appealed to the world.
Putin started a war against Ukraine, against the whole democratic world. He wants to destroy my country. He wants to destroy our country, everything we've been building, what we live for.
So far, all the signs are that this attack is working out exactly the way Western leaders have been warning for weeks. The country is being attacked from all directions, and the fear now has to be that some of those Russian troops are heading here to the capital.
Okay.
Some
So-
people aren't waiting to find out what happens next. The roads out of Kiev jammed with traffic, most of it heading west.
I'm just showing you. This happened earlier on, so I'm just showing you to give us a bit of context.
This suddenly looks like panic.
There we go.
Mid-morning and two jets fly over the city. It's not clear whose. It seems only a matter of time before Russia controls the air, and much besides. Paul Adams, BBC News, Kiev.
Now, let me play. I'm going to forward you to a point. I want you to listen to something, and this is very important. Very, very important. What I'm trying to do, hopefully we can get that point there. There is a section I want you to listen to. Here we go. This is it. I want you to listen to this.
Leadership against a sovereign, independent country.
Listen to this bit.
So what further economic sanctions
Sorry.
are on the table? Well, there are plans to restrict
Sorry.
have kept us all safe for decades. We hold dear. This is the new normal for our security. Peace cannot be taken for granted.
the fear now among some NATO countries, particularly in Baltic states like Estonia and other parts of Eastern Europe, is that President Putin might not stop at Ukraine.
Right.
Everything we
So
were afraid of that we
now, what I'm not, I want you to. There's a bit I want you to listen to about what they've done. They have basically
and around the world.
The EU have come up with a plan.
Sovereign, independent country.
So what further
So I just need to find that.
What UK did, Ukraine better. Try some asymmetric.
There is a section where the EU are trying to put into place restrictions against Russia to stop them from ever coming in, to limit their intellectual power.
after the overnight
So let me see.
military? This is
Place likely to be.
Here we go. That's more attacks.
Have already been put into place
place have very little effect at all. They're of no consequence whatsoever.
So that's the airport near Kiev.
By the UK
Kiev.
government because they were sanctioning 3 billionaires close to Putin, which have already faced.
So this is what's happening more or less live, you know, attacks in that area.
It was just merely giving Putin breathing space. He had created.
What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna mute it, and I'll be talking over these pictures at the minute. The reason why I'm doing that is because I'm going to now show you something, if I can. What happened was that with I think it's in the First World War, there is something called the Treaty of Versailles. Now in that treaty, one of the things they did was that they took away the intellectual property of Germany. Germany was forced to pay compensation and everything else. So the EU are planning the same thing again here. Now, what is the link between what is happening there and us in the south? There is a link, and the link is this. Just as the Ukrainians are trying to protect themselves from being attacked by the aggressor, in this case Russia, just as they are being attacked by, being attacked by Russia, we in that contraption we call Nigeria, we are being attacked on a daily basis. In fact, this war, there is an undeclared war has been going on in the south of that contraption, and that is the similarity. It's only now that Ukraine are now getting the flavor of the kind of things that we've been getting. You see, if you notice, they go into markets. You've been seeing markets burned, destroyed, properties destroyed, and they say it's a fire or something comes. They've called it different names. It's an attack. Nonetheless, it's an attack. It's a covert attack, and that is what we are facing. Now, what we have to understand is this: whether or not you support or disagree with whether Ukraine should have been separate from Russia or whatever, the fact is Ukraine is declaring itself. It doesn't want to be part of that contraption, part of Russia, and we do not want to be part of Nigeria. That is the similarity. I want you to key in on that. We Southerners, Middle Belt, Igbos, Yorubas, we want no part of contraption Nigeria, and contraption Nigeria is behaving just like Russia. They are behaving just like Russia, and they are attacking us. They are preventing us from protecting ourselves, from having access to our own resources. Remember, keep in mind, the only thing what I will say is this: Nigeria was not something we created. Our ancestors were involved. Let's hear this for a second. Let me just hear this. I'll pause that for a second. Let me just hear what I have to say here. Again, this is on BBC News. We're watching it on BBC. We're trying to key in on what's being said here.
Now you can see the yellow and blue Ukraine
So,
flag behind me. We've had a chance of stop the war, stop Putin, hands off Ukraine. There's a lot of anger here, but obviously
I want us all. We are going to get to the point where we, the Southerners, will have to be doing what the people are doing. We will have to just watch. I'm not going to voice it. Watch what the people are doing. They are under attack by the people they don't want to be their leaders, and the people are speaking up. We will have to do the same thing. We will have to do the same thing. Watch this.
a lot of concern. Many people were woken early this morning getting the call from family and friends back in Ukraine.
This is in UK.
In some cases were under pretty heavy.
This is in the UK.
Now, Valeria Malnachuk lives in London now, but got family in Ukraine. I mean, how did you feel when you got the news this morning?
I feel extremely angry. I think we're...
Oh no, exactly. Breakup shouldn't lead to war. It shouldn't. I agree with you. It shouldn't. But this is what we're faced with.
It was extreme anger that somebody, we know all who, a sick man in Russia with imperialist ambition to redraw European borders by force, thinks that he can dictate us, a free nation, what we think, what we do. Where...
Can you see? We are saying as Southerners that we have the right to freely think, to freely determine our own future. That's the similarity we have with Ukraine. Ukraine is Russia is trying to deny them their right to self-determination, and we are in the same situation. They are in the. I've led many protests in West London, in Central London. You all know, and Yomi Marigun, Yomi Koiki. We've done all that. They're doing the same thing. We have got to reawaken that. Unfortunately, one of the problems that we have on ground, however, in location 9 is this: once they put a stop to the protest by Southerners, they put a protest to us going for self-determination. We outside, we need to begin that process of protests again. That's what the Ukrainians are doing right now, and we now need to empower the people at home to get behind that kind of protest again. The movement, peaceful protest. We got to get that going again. That is what is effective. We're not saying we want to go to. We're not saying we want to go to war with anybody. We have the right to peaceful coexistence. We have the right to self-determination. We have a right to reject the imposition of the fraudulent 1999 constitution by way of a referendum. That is the point that I'm making at this point, here at this very juncture. So let's listen on a little bit more to what she's saying there.
We go and what we choose to do with our lives.
You must obviously be worried about your parents, I think, and your parents-in-law.
I am definitely worried.
Again, we are worried. Those of us, every single Southerner, correct me if I'm wrong, every single Southerner, be it Igbo, be it Yoruba, be it Middle Belt, we are all worried about our families back home. And there is a financial burden on us. There is a financial burden on us. Collective financial burden. Just like she said, she's worried about family back home. You and I, the reason why we go out, why I protest, why I am doing programs like this, is my concern for my family back home, my extended family, my friends, our neighborhood, what we know to be the places we grew up in that contraption. We now know should really have been called Oduduwa Nation, Igbo Nation, Middle Belt Nation, and the likes. The same thing. That's the similarity. I want you to see the similarity, people, what I'm saying here. That is what we need to pick from this. We need to pick and learn and be able to, right now, what is happening there. We've been going through this for a number of years now, and it is time we begin to redouble our efforts. We must redouble our efforts even more so. We cannot in any way accept this injustice. We cannot. And what they are doing is what we've been doing. So let's go ahead.
I know.
So
I think I'm angry more than worried, but I am
There you go.
definitely worried about my family, about my friends. There are different types of people in my circles, and they have different actions. So people with young children and toddlers, they're panicking. They want to evacuate to make sure their children are safe. Younger males, my friends, they are enlisting in
Did you hear that?
Territorial Defense Unit or the army.
you hear that? They're saying that, she's saying that the younger people are putting themselves together. This is why we've been talking about the need for us to have vigilante groups across the South, because we are being attacked. We have the government has given AK-47s to those those they call bandits. They are terrorists. They've given terrorists guns. They've refused to prosecute them. They've refused to jail them. Similarly, they're similar. Just keep looking. At every point, I will highlight the similarity and why we are justified in going for self-determination. Watch.
My husband's brother, he's the first line of reserve. He's been already called to the army. He's going there tomorrow. Of course, I'm concerned where he will be sent, because the front line is everywhere at the moment, because Russia, it's a full-fledged invasion.
Did you hear that? They said the front line is everywhere. And that is what we are faced with. Many of us have been we have been totally asleep to what is really coming. Our good afternoon to you, Lola Karnowski from Australia. You are a supporter of the Aborigines in Australia, and you speaking truth to power, supporting those whom those land belong to, for them to stand up and reclaim what is theirs. So we thank you for that. Thank you very much. Now, what I'm trying to say here is this: look at what is being said here. There is so much similarity to what is going on with us. The government, the federal government, is one where we, the people, did not vote via a referendum for. They imposed the fraudulent constitution upon which they now selected the leaders. I want you to know, and I want to reiterate at this point, that since the June 12, 1993 elections, no election since then has neither been free nor fair. No elections since June 12, 1993 has neither been free nor fair. It is important to raise that point. And now, going back to the point I'm saying here, the main central issue is that the Fulani government are busy attacking us on a daily basis. They're using a whole spectrum of attack. Regular army, police, bandits, or whatever they want to call them, bandits, terrorists, you name it, all of them given guns to come and attack us. There are similarities between what is happening between Russia and us and Ukraine. We are the Southerners. We are in effect exactly in the same place as the Ukrainians. And it's important we understand that similarity. Just a note of, I wanted to just add something. For us as Africans, it is important to note that when discussions are being had about how to solve the problem in Europe, you will notice that no African is on the table discussing that. Let me say that again. For us as Africans, it's important to understand something. The war that is going on now with Russia and Ukraine, at no point was any African on the table discussing it. The point I'm trying to make now is this: we should not wait. We should not accept any colonizer from anywhere coming in to try to assuage us, to prevent us from going for self-determination, because you can see they are encouraging Ukraine to go for self-determination and stay with them. But when we try to go for self-determination, they are dissuading us from going for self-determination. Let me show you what I mean. I want you to listen to the last words, the words of Prime Minister Johnson. Listen to this. Let me I'll get to the word for you. 1 second. Where is it? I'm just going to bring it up. There is a place I wanted you to hear him speak. No, it's not that one. So, okay, here. I want you to hear what he said. And it's important we need to start holding those key points. Very, very important. If I can find it for you, I'm sorry. There's a lot of things that have been said, and I want to make sure that you hear him. Because he talked about the fact that the Ukrainians have the right to self-determination. That is exactly what we are asking for as Southerners, as Igbos, as Middle Belt, as Biafrans. And in the very point that we are asking for that, the UK government are sending in ministers to prevent us from having that discussion. And that is what I am really here to highlight to you, to bring to your attention, to make you aware that this is why we cannot relent. Let me see if I can find that place. It's very important. I made a meta. Here we go. Sorry. Where is it? 1 second though. Here we go. Now,
diplomatically, politically, economically, and eventually militarily. This hideous and barbaric venture of Vladimir Putin
listen.
end in failure. This act of wanton and reckless aggression is an attack not just on Ukraine.
Listen.
It's an attack on democracy and freedom in Eastern Europe and around the world. This crisis is about the right of a free, sovereign, independent European people to choose their own future.
Did you hear that? It's about the free, independent European people to choose their own future. Let's listen again. I want you to know, listen to that point. Listen intently. Listen. Let's go back. Here we go.
Economic sanctions to hobble Russia's economy.
A vast invasion is underway by land, by sea, and by air. And this is not in the infamous phrase,
let me just
faraway country of which we know little.
1 second, I'll be back.
Ukraine is a country that for decades has enjoyed freedom and democracy and the right to choose its own destiny. We and the world cannot allow that freedom just to be snuffed out. We cannot and will not just look away.
He promised more defensive military support.
Okay, listen now, and I will show you something
Is clear.
that runs contrary to what he just said here. So it's one love.
Militarily, this hideous and barbaric venture of Vladimir Putin must end in failure. This act of
Listen.
and reckless aggression is an attack not just on Ukraine.
Yeah.
It's an attack on democracy and freedom in Eastern Europe and around the world. This crisis is about the right of a free, sovereign, independent European people to choose their own future.
To choose their own future. The free, independent European people, sovereign European people to choose their own future. Now, I want you to watch this. See this. From the same government, it says here, British High Commissioner Katrina Lang, they paying us a visit and they are stopping us from having discussions to go for self-determination. Can you see the similarity? In one, the UK are supporting Ukrainians who are like us, but when it comes to us on our own soil, they are supporting the Nigerian government oppressing us. Can you see? One government, two different strategies. Can you see it? Type 1 if what I'm saying resonates with you. Type 1 if what I am showing you resonates with you. Let me go one step further because it may not be clear. I'm going to get you an even clearer picture of what I'm saying. Once I'm going to wait for this one quickly. Let me put that away. 1 second. I just want you to see. Oh, sorry. I was just a little bit trigger happy there. BBC. So here we go. So I'm going to just quickly pull away. I want you to type 1 if what I'm saying makes sense to you. You can see, even Israel bombed sovereign state of Syria. No copy from exactly. Also, thank you very much. Thank you. Now let me show you to make it. I want this to be crystal clear. The UK supports the sovereignty of Ukraine, but now when it comes to our own issue, and this is where you need to understand the kind of ideas, the strategy that's been used in the case of in UK and in Europe. They see themselves as the same, but when it comes to us, we're not them. We're not like them. Democracy, according to them, we shouldn't have true democracy. Self-determination, that should be denied us. Now let me bring this to your attention because it's important to make this really crucial point when we are going forward and we're discussing. Please do share this broadcast. At this point, I would like to urge you to subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube as you're watching. Let me quickly do something to that effect. I am going to pin the broadcast. I will pin it on I will put it onto my Facebook. That way you can just click on it. Those of you watching me, I appreciate you. It's been a while that we've not been able to please subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. So I'm going to put that there so that you can tell family and friends, and we can continue to get the information out. The more people that watch it, the more we can get people to take the action that they need to take collectively on YouTube. So let me just put that there. But I'm just trying to tell you that there are similarities. So select all, copy, now print. So you will see that. Andy, my brother Andy Adun, thank you very much. Thank you. Please do share. Exactly. Please do share. I urge you all to please share the broadcast. Very, very important information is contained here within. Quickly, I want to just go back. There's a video. I want you to see the same government that's telling us to believe in democracy. I want you to see what they're doing, and not only what I showed you earlier, but I want you to understand that the same people, they are denying us the right to self-determination and sovereignty, the very sovereignty that they are affording Ukraine. We are being denied that by the same government. It's important to understand that. It's important to understand how they're trying to engineer and stop us from speaking truth to power and having true independence. All of this, again, as you all know, many of you will know now, it really is about it's all about resource control in our own land, and it's time for us to really speak to that, begin to understand why there are similarity between Ukraine and the Southerners collectively. We are in the same situation with Ukraine. We want to go on our own, and those in power, they do not wish us to be on our own. They want to continue to keep us enslaved. Now, listen to this. I want to show you this. This is what I want you to look at. On February 21st, the UK, United Kingdom, Minister of Africa, Latin America, Caribbean, Vicar Ford, is set to maiden visit to Nigeria. And her plan is to take forward efforts by both countries to build UK-Nigeria partnership and strengthen strong security, anti-corruption, and economic ties. We don't want to be part of Nigeria. They want to keep Nigeria one. Look, UK-Nigeria partnership. Can you see that? That goes against our right to self-determination. They are not allowing our voice to be heard via a referendum. They are emphasizing the need for UK-Nigeria partnership. So you can see on the one hand, let me take this away. On the one hand, let me play it again so you can see it.
That is a right that the UK will...
Let me go back again.
Access so that no one can invest in them, and it
just to be snuffed out. We cannot and will
listen.
Just look away.
He promised more defensive military support.
Listen.
Our mission is clear. Diplomatically, politically, economically, and eventually militarily. This hideous and barbaric...
Listen to it in its entirety, and I'll bring that picture back again.
In failure. This act of wanton and reckless aggression is an attack not just on Ukraine. It's an attack on democracy and freedom in Eastern Europe and around the world. This crisis is about the right of a free, sovereign, independent European people to choose their own future. And that is a right that the UK will always defend.
So, now, the UK will defend the right of Ukraine to sovereignty, freedom to choose. But when it comes to Nigeria, this is what they're doing. Contrast to Nigeria. They have a different strategy completely. There, we are not considered. This is the clearest evidence we have of the unfairness, racism, injustice, the lack of the fact that we are not viewed as human beings. Clearest evidence. The British are saying UK-Nigeria partnership to strengthen strong security. You see, that word there is the one we need to look at. Those two. Anti-corruption is a joke because they are aiding corruption. It's just been found out now. They just said now in the UK now. They said they've sanctions against Russia. But it turns out that in the UK, many of the billions of dollars of money of the Russian money has now been found its way into the UK and is in properties. So it's difficult to untangle themselves, but that's another story. But what I want you to focus on, and I hope this resonates with you, please continue to subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube and subscribe and share. What I want you to focus on is the very central point that is being made here. And the point is simple. It is very, very simple. And it's that the UK are, on the one hand, they're supporting, and rightly so, the right for Ukraine to self-determination, sovereignty, self-determination, and the right to self-governing, to govern themselves without interference. But in the case of Nigeria, country of Nigeria, where many of us, there are three different groups who want to leave country of Nigeria: Middle Belt, Igbos, and Yorubas. They are coming to talk about UK-Nigeria partnership. I want you to just understand what is being played here completely. And the impact of this is why we should continue to go for self-determination. It's really important we understand that. Now, where is it? Do please go to the platform. Let me just see. One section, please. One second, please. Sorry, not that one. 1 second. Yeah. Okay. I'd just like you to do something for me, as you're doing when you're coming into the platform. Okay, I got it now, I think. Oh, sorry, beg your pardon. Something is not quite right. Just give me a second. I will get there. Okay, I'm with you. Okay, I think I've got it right. Okay, I've got it the other way around, but that's okay. So it's either way, it doesn't, as long as it works, which is the main thing. So I'm just gonna try and give you, yeah. So, there we go. Please go ahead and subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. Would you really be doing us a great favor by doing that? It would help us a great deal. Go ahead and subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. I want you to really understand that on the one hand, the UK, in fact, in France, UK, and all of those colonials, their policy on Africa is one of oppression and suppression. The very thing that they're trying to stop Russia doing to Ukraine. Let me say that again slowly. The policies of the colonial countries like UK, France, I think it's probably Portuguese. I mean, all of the countries, any of the countries who are colonial masters, who were and are still colonials in country of Nigeria, their policy is the very oppression that they imposing upon, that they want to stop happening to Ukraine. They are systematically putting it in place in Africa. And it's important we understand this subtlety. So when they're speaking and you're watching them, oh yes, we support them fighting Russia, and rightly so. But we need to understand that when it comes to us, the policy that they will adopt is going to be exactly the same policy that the Russians are adopting against Ukraine. It's important we understand that step. If we don't, we will be under a false narrative and believing in everything that's been said when they come and they speak to us. I mean, they're coming in and they're speaking about UK-Nigeria security. Southerners are being killed every day, and the UK government has not come out and said this is wrong. We support self-determination. What they support instead is they support the imposed union that they created, not the people. Are you following me? They are supporting the false narrative, the Nigeria that they created. Let me quickly go back to this thing to show you. Let me show you. how I put it now. 18 Nigeria. Let me see. Let me just put this here. George Goldie. I want to just show you. This is what they're supporting. They're supporting their creation. Nigeria. They created Nigeria. And that is all they are interested in supporting. So, with Ukraine, let me see. So, here we go. So, now, I'm going to just go here. No, Britannica. Here we go. That's the one. So, we're going to do this. And it's important to understand that when Germany lost the war in 1916-17, they had to give up the land. That is why Togo used to be under Germany. Many don't realize this. Togo used to be under Germany. But when they lost the First World War, one of the things they had to give up was Togo. They had to give up the colonial countries, and that is why it was given to that is why France took over from Togo. Many people don't understand that. Go and check your history. What I'm telling you, you will find it to be the case. But that's another story for our time. Let me just bring this to you. Here we go. So the Gladstone government, even okay. So now let's go and go. I want to just go to show you how that Nigeria was created. So here is where your Nigeria, and this is where this George Goldie guy was buried, by the way. He's buried in Brompton Cemetery, Central London. We will all have to go there and pay visits at some point and register our discontent to the fact that the union that they're trying to protect is on the blood of our ancestors whom nobody has remembered. It is up to us to remember the blood of those that were killed in the creation of Contractor Nigeria. They don't want to remember that, but that's who we are, and we need to bring that to life. Where was it? I needed to show you something about Nigeria, so you know now. Okay, so this is what I want you to know. So many of you will say Nigeria was created in 1914. No, it wasn't though. Nigeria was created on the 4th of January 1900. The Royal Nigeria Company transferred its territory to the British government for the sum of £865,000 on the 1st of January 1900. You see, the Lord Lugard thing, yes, it's right. They marked it that way, but that is the evidence. And this is the Nigeria that the British government is trying to protect. That is why they would continue to talk about. Let's read the transcript of what they're saying. United Kingdom Minister for Africa and Latin America, Caribbean, Vicky Ford, is said for a meeting visit to Nigeria. This was disclosed in a statement by the British High Commission in Nigeria on Sunday. The British High Commission explained that the visit will take forward efforts by both countries to build a UK-Nigeria partnership and strengthen strong security, anti-corruption, and economic ties. You see, the thing, all of this, it goes against. If you are stating, the first thing is what UK should be doing is to listen to the indigenous people, just very much like they are listening to Ukraine now. Remember, let me show you Ukraine again. Listen to Ukraine again. This is what I want to pick up from this. We need to start picking out key points and understanding that the difference of how it's treated and how we are treated are sharply different, and we need to be cognizant of that, and we need to take steps to go forward, clear in our mind that our salvation does not lie in the hand of those who colonized us. It doesn't. It lies in our own hands. Here we go. Listen again.
Diplomatically, politically,
Listen.
economically, and eventually militarily, this hideous and barbaric venture of Vladimir Putin
Listen.
will end in failure. This act of wanton and reckless aggression is an attack not just on Ukraine, it's an attack on democracy and freedom in Eastern Europe,
You see,
and
around the world, in Eastern Europe and around the world. And I put it to you, the attack on Eastern Europe, an attack on Ukraine is an attack on democracy and freedom of people around the world. And I put it to you that by the UK government supporting Contraction Nigeria in the face of Southerners, 3 different regions, Yorubas, Igbos, Middle Belt, seeking self-determination, is actually an attack on humanity. And that is the key difference that of what is happening right now. And I want us all to be cognizant of that fact. That's why we're bringing this together. Many of us are not aware of what is being done. We are calling for self-determination in a peaceful manner. And the UK, they want to strengthen partnership, strong security. When you say strong security, and you are doing security, strong security against defenseless people of the South who have no weapons, who have their voice, all they have is their voice and their right to self-determination to go on their own. And you are telling us about UK partnership. If you create, understand what that means. When they say that it's a UK-Nigeria partnership, that means that they will do anything to protect Nigeria from being disintegrated by, as we the Southerners wish. And that means that they're not willing to listen to us. How is it that the UK can decide and speak for 180 million Southerners? How is it? How is it? How is it that the UK government are sending in the so-called the foreign minister to dictate to us, the people? We've been doing protests. We've been going to the UK platform, to the UK Parliament. I've been there. Yomikoki has been. The Biafrans and Igbos have been. All of us been clamoring for self-determination, and we've not been listened to at all. They've not come out to acknowledge us, but here they are, telling us that they want to strengthen the partnership between UK and Nigeria, and that to have Nigeria means the continued blatant aggression, suppression, using weapons. Because when you say strong security, it means that you are going to provide, the UK is willing to provide weapons to the Nigerian government to suppress self-determination, the very self-determination that they are protecting in Ukraine. Are you following me? Is this making sense to you? So these are the kind of things that we need to understand. So when it comes to democracy, it's important to understand that the Western world are not interested in Africans having democracy. They're not interested in us having a true economy. They're not interested in us having manufacturing base, because as far as they're concerned, if Africa develops, it's a threat to their existence. And it doesn't necessarily need to be so. It doesn't. But these are the kind of discussions that we have got to understand, to really have among ourselves. It's important to understand, on the one hand, the West are saying they are going to fight and protect the right of Ukraine to self-determination. But the same people, UK, France, who are colonials in Africa, they are doing everything they can to prevent the voice of the people from being heard, including supporting the barbaric killings carried out by the government that they put in place to oppress Southerners collectively. Are you following what I'm saying? So let's carry on. I'll come back. I'll make this point again. I think that's actually a really good point to be made here. And I think I'm being fair in what I'm saying. It's one country, two different strategies. The strategy in Ukraine is to support democracy. The strategy in Africa is to oppose democracy and to suppress the people and to create the impression that is the democracy. Can you see? That is what we're faced with. Now, let's carry on.
This crisis is about the right of a free, sovereign, independent European people to choose their own future.
So, this crisis is about the right of the free, independent European people to choose their own future. So why is it wrong? Why is it that the UK government, if they were going to give a clear indication that they are supporting true democracy, the UK government will say, at this point in time, we want to see a referendum take place. Too many of the regions have spoken. We need you to actually listen to them. Carry out a referendum. Let's hear the voice of the people. Let's hear the will of the people, and we will help you achieve that. But the UK, no. It is in black and white. This is all in black and... Oh, sorry. Where is it? Sorry about that. I was just a bit trigger happy there. The UK government Oh, no. We're not interested in that. You know, we are going to strengthen. Instead of listening to they have ignored our voices, but they are listening to the voice of the Ukrainian people. Very important to understand that. They are ignoring our voices, but they are listening to the voice of the UK people. And these are the kind of things that I would urge us all to really look into. What's your take on this? Let me see if I can actually put the phone lines on and we can talk about this. And because I really think it is something I am actually sufficiently motivated to actually make sure that we look at this, you know, objectively, dispassionately, and understand that what is being done here is blatant. The UK is part and parcel of the oppression of Southerners in our land. The very thing that they are fighting against in Ukraine. Consider that for a minute. Let's pause there and think about what I just said. What are your thoughts on it? How do you see it? Let me put my phone number up and let's talk about that. As a former, you know, I mean, I'm quite happy for people to prove me wrong and have a different objective, a discussion about it. That's what we should do. That is what should happen. Where was it? Browser scene. Okay, now 1 second, please. I'm just going to put my number up so you can see the number on the screen and you can call in shortly. But I want to post there, and of course we're going to keep the broadcast running in terms of discussions, live discussions. As we are hearing that there are about 6 people that have been killed. Now, in this aggression of the Russians, and that's, you know, let me see, replay. No, beg your pardon. I'm just trying to find this number of mine. I've got it there, but sometimes you just no. Okay, no, not quite there. Just give me a minute, please. Text. No, not that one. No, is that it? No, okay. No, sorry, I'm just trying to find the one with the number on it, so you can see it. There's a number that I need to give you on the screen, but I just can't seem to locate it at the minute. So I'm just you can call in on 44. Let me put the number here. You can call in on +44 739 580 606. I know it's here somewhere, but sometimes when you're trying to find something, it may not necessarily show up. But that's okay. Let's do something. Let me just go Bluetooth. Okay, so okay, fantastic, good. Now, so let me just make sure one more time. Of course, I'm going to try it one more time because I know I have it somewhere. Sometimes you cannot see the number for one thing or the other, but it will come up. So, but the number you want to call is +44 739 580 606. So let's see if I got it there. No. No. So 1 second, please. Okay. What I will have to do then, I'm going to just quickly add that number so you see it coming up. So 1 second. So I just want us to look at that, and if you want to call in, you can call in on that number and have a discussion about. Oh, sorry about that. I do apologize. This is what we're looking for. So subscribe to Citizen AY. That's why I couldn't see. I see it now. Sorry about that. There we go. That's it. So now you can call in +44 739 580 606. So let me just check that number is up and running so that you can call in and leave your own comments. I will bring this back again. I'm going to leave that so where I can get it to it. So let's go and see what updates are showing us right now in terms of where we are.
Russia now
Let me see.
End like this.
Let me see.
Among them, Alexei.
If Russia will occupy Kiev, which I don't believe happen, because I believe in our army, well, it will be like another Nazi occupation.
It's still eerily quiet here in the heart of the capital. It seems many have followed government advice to stay at home. Lots of people will have also heard Russia's claim that it carried out targeted strikes on the Ukrainian military. I've got to tell you,
So,
people here are saying
the number is working. If you want to call in, you can call in on +44 7399 580 606. Let me just call in on. If you would like to call in on +44
long queues of cars leaving Kiev. Now Poland says it's making
7399
taking refugees
580 606.
reception centers along its eastern border.
So
this is a scene at the border crossing at Dorohusk where people are already
now you hear now that people are leaving. You heard now that Ukrainians are leaving the border. They are leaving the border. They're leaving Ukraine and going to Poland. And you can see that they've opened the borders. What do you think happens when people doing with all this attack, people want to leave Nigeria? What do you think happens? The borders are what? They are closed. Who's in control of those borders? Do you think it's the president of Benin or the president of the other countries? They are the colonial masters. This is why we need to understand that we're not truly independent in Africa. These are the kind of things that I'm hoping to bring to our attention. So like I said, please do call in on 447399580 Let me do this. Call in on. So I'm going to put that there so that we have it +447399580606. So let me just put that there and then copy. So now if you do want to call in, you're welcome to call in. I'm going to do that to the platform as well, and you can have a discussion about the way forward. How do you see it? What suggestions do you think? How do we get across this in view of the fact that we now know, because it's important to understand that this is beyond prayers now. This is not about prayers. The Ukrainians, they're not waiting on prayers. They are taking action. And that is what I hope that we can begin to understand. That the Ukrainians are not waiting on prayers. They are taking action. And the action that they're taking is that whereby they say, look, you know what? Something is wrong. We need to stop this. How do we do it? What steps can we take? So these are the kind of things that I would like us to really look at and understand, and truly understand that this is where things are. At this point, I would urge you all to please subscribe to Citizen AY, subscribe to Dudwati Radio. Someone's calling in. Okay, let me just take the call. Good afternoon, caller. Hello. Good afternoon, caller. Hello. Hello, caller. Can you hear me? We're trying to connect to caller. Hello. Oh, I'll call you back then. I'm going to call you. I don't know what happened there. I will call you straight back because this is very important. I think the line had a problem, but we will call you straight back here. So let me just put this in.
More than 500 kilometers long, the reception centers will offer arrivals meals and medical care.
We will get there.
And a place to rest and
give me a minute.
The UN warned Thursday that Russia's invasion of Ukraine would have devastating humanitarian consequences and urged neighboring countries to keep borders open to those
if we had a war in contrast to Nigeria, when war is happening, let's be very clear, war is already happening. But if we come to the point where that it was all out and we could all see it, the borders will not be controlled. Oh, sorry. Let me call again. Sorry, call again. I was trying to answer the call and I pressed it off. Let me do that again. Sorry, 1 minute. So I'm gonna call you straight back.
Russian stocks plunged.
Okay.
The ruble hit an all-time low.
Call me back, please, Ezenwa. I was trying to answer the call. Call me straight back. Something is wrong here. Call me straight back, Ezenwa. I appreciate the call. Is it? Sorry.
This war.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do it again.
Would be the beginning.
Oh man.
Of the Third World War.
We should not. If they call it Third World War, we should not be involved in that war. As Africans, we need to protect ourselves, protect our land, protect our people. We need to get freedom of our people. We do not want to get involved in that. I don't believe in it's a world war. That's not our role. Our role is to give our people, empower our people. So I'll get that line back up again. Beg your pardon. The person that called, I was trying to answer you, but the line just went a bit off. So do bear with me.
But so far, few Russians
You see?
have come out to protest. Maybe this is why. In Russia now, protests end like this.
And in Nigeria right now, we can't protest. We cannot protest. The same thing with Russia. In Nigeria, in Nigeria right now, we cannot go and protest and say we want self-determination. They've chased us off our own streets. Similarity with Russia. There's so much similarity with what's going on, and that is the very same governance that the colonials want us to continue to believe in. It's important we wake up. It's very important we wake up. So let me just get this sorted out. 1 minute, please. Just give me a minute. This will take some time, a little bit, not too much of a time, but I'm gonna get it working. Then I'll call that number now. So then we can kick off this big discussion from here. I think it's important. Oh, come on. Why are you kidding me, man? Okay, let me do something. I'll clear that system out. This is being difficult right now. Okay, let's end that. I'm just trying to get this done. So please do call back in the guy that called earlier. Oh, man. Why are you doing this today? What is going on? I've got the thing there and it's worked just now, but it doesn't seem to want me. Here we go. At last we're in. Yes, hopefully. Yes, hello? There's been a lot of calls coming in and that's why it's not worked, but hopefully we can be able to hear you. Hello, caller? Hello? We're waiting for you to connect. Oh, call failed. Oh, I'm so sorry. Do try and call again. I don't know why it's failing. Keep trying to call. I don't know why it's failing. Everything is all set up. There shouldn't be a reason for this to be held up in any way. Sorry. Okay. Hello? Yes. Hello? Good afternoon, my brother. How are you? Yeah, go ahead. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, we are. We're in danger. I agree. Yes. 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 It's true. Yes. Yeah. They won't. You're right. Exactly. That is yes. Exactly. Exactly. Well said, my brother. Yeah. So wow. Yeah. There you go. There you go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 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 So they cancelled it. Wow. No. No, we can't. No. No. Serious danger. Serious. Exactly. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you. Do call again. Thank you. Bye bye. So you've had the caller there from I'm not quite sure which area. Thank you so much for that call. I appreciate that call. It is very, very important that we have that kind of a discussion among ourselves. He said it again. I mean, the friend of my friend is the friend of my enemy, whatever. I mean, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, or whatever they call it. For the purposes of what we're trying to achieve in terms of independence, I think that's not a bad idea to look at things to get in touch with them, get involved with Russia, even though we know Russia have got their own agenda, i.e. Ukraine. But at the end of the day, what I want you all to know, what I want us all to really focus on and to remember in all of this is that there is no, if anybody believes mistakenly that the UK is interested in democracy in that contraption, then you are simply deceiving yourself. They are not interested in democracy in that contraption Nigeria. They are not interested. I've already shown you. They created contraption Nigeria on 1st of January 1900. It is there in black and white. They paid £865,000 to George Goldie's company, Royal Niger Company, that they created to take over the entire territory. And since then till now, they rule over that. And that is why they come and they say they want deeper ties, they want closer ties to build on the UK-Nigeria partnership and strengthen strong security and anti-corruption and economic ties. These are the realities on ground. And we, just like the caller said, we are in our people are in danger. I'll put that back. I'm going to keep bringing that in to remind us every so often. We need to understand that where we are now is something that, yes, they've put us in. It is time for us to work together collectively as Southerners, Igbos, Middle Belt, Oduduwa people, to work together and really ensure we dismantle that contraption. And if we to test the UK genuinity about that, they should allow us to go to have a referendum. They should not allow. They should not interfere. They should stand back and say, we will not interfere whilst the people are clamoring. There is enough people clamoring for self-determination for us to continue to say we want to have a discussion with Nigeria, because we don't know which Nigeria we're going to meet, because the people may go, but they are coming up, they're telling us to the UK-Nigeria partnership, which means that they are going to support the government in oppressing those who are seeking self-determination, the likes of you and me. We can't be silent in the face of that. That's the reality of what we are faced with. We are talking about self-determination that the UK government, on the one hand, is very happy, more than happy for Ukrainians to have, but they are denying us, Yorubas and Oduduwa people, Igbos, and Middle Belt. They are denying us that very same right to self-determination. In fact, they are intervening. They are doing everything within their power to prevent us from having that self-determination. Listen on. Watch this now. Let me see if this will come up.
I just help crying. I think that
Okay.
most of Russian don't support.
I don't know what's happened there. Seem to have lost the voice. Oh, sorry. Yeah, man, why?
It's
Here we go.
not our war. It's war Putin,
You see?
Biden, or anyone else, but not our nation.
You see?
I think the Ukrainian soldiers will surrender, she says, and they should. It's terrible to be at war with Ukraine.
See?
This is not a conflict the Russian public wants. This is the Kremlin's war.
Okay, Steve Rosenberg
So-
for that report. I'm joined now by Ivana Klimpush-Tsitsadze, who is a Ukrainian MP and was the Ukrainian Deputy Prime Minister.
So we on this show today, do call in. The number is on the screen. You can call +44 79 580 606 if you want to be part of the discussion. Somebody already called earlier on, and they left a very passionate discussion, and they left a message for us that we should perhaps look at working with Russia. What is your take on that? How do you see that?
Expect Russian public to also.
Yeah, like I said, I'll pause this for a second. Somebody called earlier on, didn't take their name, but I appreciate them calling, and they came up with a suggestion that is it perhaps time that we Southerners, maybe as a group, go and speak to Russia, because it is obvious by the actions of the UK government, in going with the foreign minister to go to Nigeria and talk about partnership and strengthening strong security and anti-corruption and economic ties. It is obvious that they are not interested in or listening to our clamor for self-governance. We are not interested in them listening, but it shows they have very little care for what we, the people of the South, are saying, that we have the right to self-determination. Interestingly, it's the same self-determination that the Ukrainians, that they're supporting the Ukrainians in achieving. Let's listen for a few minutes and we'll come back. We have to keep hitting home at this point, because many of us who are believing in that construction of Nigeria don't understand the game that's being played. And particularly Southerners, it's time we woke up. In the case of Ukraine, the UK supports it for its self-determination wholeheartedly. In the case of us as Yorubas, as Oduduwa people, as Igbos, as Middle Belt, they don't want to hear our voices. And there's only one thing that can be done, that can be said, that can be deduced from that. You can only deduce one thing from that. If it was a European person, Ukrainians, Europe, they support independence, they support self-determination, they support that. But if you're an African, no. We are still an area that they control in their eyes. It is up to you and me now to say no. The new young African people, their voices, they are speaking, and they are going to protect themselves. They are going to dismantle what you imposed on their ancestors. They are going to dismantle it, rightly so. Nobody will dare say, and nobody here is saying to come and dismantle UK. No way. In fact, I would stand up and say, you have no right to invade. That's their territory. The same luxury must be afforded to Africans in Africa. No more, no less. That is what we're saying. If we're saying the integrity of the UK or Britain and those who decide to be together in the UK is important, then the self-determination of the people of Middle Belt, the people of Igbo land, the people of Oduduwa land, their right to self-determination is just as important, more so than ever. Like the reason why you will see the reluctance from the likes of UK is because of the resources that you see behind me. The resources that you see on the screen behind me. And I put those pictures about the resources there to remind us of what we have in our land. When we go for self-determination as Igbos, as Yorubas, as Middle Belt, we have enough resources. we don't have to worry, and we can be a manufacturing base. We can turn this around. We can provide a bright future for the coming generation. Be in no doubt about that. We can provide a bright future for the coming generation as independent nations, as Oduduwa nation, as Igbo nation, as Middle Belt. We can and will provide a vibrant future for the coming generation. One where they will be using their language. I am of the generation where we're speaking English and everything, but I encourage on the other platform that we use, you will notice that we speak in Oduduwa language, and we're encouraging people to know the simple things, days of the week, your name, the meaning, the proverbs, the way we use our the poetry, the dance, our music, our history, our culture, our everything, and of course our resources. So we have a lot to really offer to the world, and we can be the hub where the world wants to come to visit. We can make that viable. It can work, and I know that going for Oduduwa nation, Igbo nation, be a Middle Belt nation, would mean that there is stability in that area. To impose Nigeria on the people that are going for self-dependence, i.e. self-determination, i.e. Middle Belt, Igbo, and Oduduwa people, is to impose oppression, suppression, and barbarism. Nigeria is a barbarism. Nigeria as a nation is a barbarism imposed on those who are seeking, on the collective people of the South, seeking self-determination. And that is one barbarism that the UK would do well not to support. I know they're looking at the interest of the resources that in that land. That's what they're looking at. They don't care about the people. They want the resources. But there is a way that if we have proper discussions, those resources, you may still have access to it. But there is nothing wrong with the people of the land must benefit from those resources first. That's what we're saying, and we stand on that. We're not saying this as a threat. We're saying the time has come. You cannot keep blaming the people for wanting to come to Europe when the very policies that you're pursuing is chasing the people out of their own land, preventing them from having safety and security in their own land, and then you turn around and you blame the same people for wanting to come to your own land. You can't have it both ways. These are the realities of the actions of the likes of UK, the likes of France, and all of the colonials in Africa right now. You're saying, oh, they're coming to loot, they're coming to your land, they're illegally, they're doing everything. Fine. What are you doing in Africa? What systems have you put in Africa? You've put systems in place and you're preventing Africans from developing Africa. We are only, in your eyes, to be seen as resource production only, to provide resources for others to go and do finished products. We have a mind of our own. The same self-determination that you are advocating for in terms of Ukraine, the same self-determination is what we are advocating for, but we are not getting any support from the UK government in any way, shape or form. In Middle Belt, in Igbo land, in Oduduwa nation. In fact, we are getting quite the opposite. We are being forcibly discouraged from speaking about our right to self-determination by the UK in black and white. I'm showing you what it is. UK partnership with Nigeria. I see it. Nigeria as a nation is a barbarism imposed on the individual, on the city, on the people, indigenous people of Middle Belt, Igbo, and Oduduwa nation. Nigeria is a barbarism imposed on the indigenous people of Middle Belt, the indigenous people of Igbo land, and the indigenous people of Oduduwa nation, Oduduwa land. It's a barbarism, one that we must collectively continue to clamor for, to make sure that we ensure that we get. Again, sorry, okay. There's a call again. Let me take the call. Good afternoon. Yes, welcome back. Yes, sir. Yes. Go ahead. Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead. Yes.
And America did
Yes.
Get my life.
Yes.
The Yoruba leader.
Yes.
Yoruba leader will be invited to America immediately.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm telling you this.
Mm.
They will invite us for discussion in White House immediately to Yoruba people.
Yes.
Because they know danger is coming.
Yes.
Danger is coming.
They do.
I'm telling you this.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah.
If they discover we are moving towards Russia,
Yeah.
they will invite the Yoruba leader to
Mm-hmm.
come.
Mm-hmm.
Not this
No. No.
the real leader that are fighting for freedom.
Yes.
They will call them to come and discuss because they know we are going to the wrong direction.
Yes. Yeah.
I am telling you this.
It's
See what I'm saying?
yes, I hear you.
Let's try it.
Yes.
Let them try it.
Yes.
You will see the answer.
I agree with you, and I think we should probably have.
Right now, Russia and them, they are in trouble. They are not in good time.
Yes. Yes.
When something happens, we have to take the advantage.
Exactly.
That's how reasonable people think.
Indeed. Indeed.
When you know your enemy is fighting with somebody, you go for the other side.
To be able to get a leverage. I agree with you.
Yeah, that's how politics works. You
Yeah.
go to the other side.
Mm.
And the West will not like you to go there. They will call you immediately.
Yeah. Yeah. Indeed. Thank you so much, my brother. I appreciate you. Do call again. I appreciate that. Wow, that's interesting. Somebody has left a comment. Good afternoon to my brother. He says, "What is Nigerian government doing about Nigerians living in Ukraine?" Very good question. If anybody in the Nigerian government, no doubt they are watching us, because we have been led to understand that all our agitations, not just myself alone, Mayegun, Mujuwati Radio, Jomiko Iki, Ali Thomas, all of that, they have been watching us. In fact, they've got dossiers on all of us, from what I understand. But that's their problem. But they are watching us. But the question that has been posed here, and I should be worth asking, what steps, what is Nigerian government doing? What are Nigerian government doing about Nigerians living in Ukraine right now? I wonder if they are having any discussions. Let's go back again and look at what is happening right live now in Ukraine. Let's go and go here. Let's see. Okay.
Enough pressure. There may be a pain point.
Do you think that the economic package of the sanctions that they've put together are good enough? Because frankly, there are many people who say this hasn't gone far enough. It's predictable, it's weak, and it's something that Putin, frankly, has prepared for, knows what to do when it comes his way, and almost like this sort of fortress Russia that he has created.
He's definitely created a big slush fund of $650 billion that can help cushion the blow. But the sanctions that President Biden's about to announce are unprecedented. I mean, I don't know exactly what they are, but they will target Putin himself and his wealth. They will try to break the Russian economy, so it will be impossible for Russian banks to do business anywhere. The ruble won't be convertible. We may see Russia disconnected from the global system of financial transaction settlements, so SWIFT. In that situation, we're going to see the Russian stock market continue to sink. It's fallen by a record pace today, and we'll see the ruble continue to sink. It's the lowest it's ever been, and that imposes real costs on Russian consumers as goods get more expensive, a lot more expensive.
Matthew Bryza, thank you so much for joining us here on the program.
So we just follow what's been said now.
Prime Minister Boris Johnson will make a statement to the House of Commons in the next few hours. Our political correspondent Nick Idley is at Westminster for us. Nick.
Yeah, good afternoon. So we're expected to hear.
You know what I want to do?
In about an hour or so, with some.
You know what I want to do?
Details that of the sanctions that.
You know what I'd like to do, guys? Just give me a minute. I'm only to stop bias or whatever. Let's go and see if we can find RT News and see if we can bring them on board as well. Let's go for RT News and let's hear what they're saying in terms of this, how it's being reported. Only to balance view. I'm not saying I support either way. That's not what we're saying. But what my brother has said here is very interesting. We should perhaps go for and indeed advocate, for the need for our Yoruba leaders and Igbo leaders to actually go for to begin to speak for and negotiate to get to get us to that promised land of self-examination. So skip the ads now. Here we go. So let's hear what they're saying here for a minute. Let's hear what they're saying.
natural gas supply through Nord Stream 2. Now that dries up. What you're going to do is substitute something like, because you may be looking at 25-30% of Germany's energy going bye-bye in the middle of these hostilities, because we're just going to cut them off perhaps. Well, if that happens, you're going to make it up with more expensive to produce fracked gas from the U.S. that you then have to ship across the Atlantic there. Who's going to pay for it? No one in Europe, they can't, they're choosing now between food and heat. And so you're going to jack up the double the price of it again.
The reason I'm doing this, we've been watching BBC News in between. We're showing RT News. BBC represents the NATO West and all that, and RT of Russia. And just because what my brother said earlier about maybe us for our purposes of going for self-determination, to hear the perspective, the Russian perspective in all of this. We don't have any influence in all of this. We don't have any powers in the decision-making process. It's between all of those who are there. But we should put this forward to people so you can have an informed view and not just have one slide, one track view of everything. So let's listen for a few minutes, see where this goes. But always keep in mind, our objective remains one: self-determination. If it means that we can speak to Russia to be able to obtain that self-determination in Igbo land, in Middle Belt, and in the Oduduwa nation, then it is worth looking at. Let's carry on.
Yeah, you may see some rebellions, even revolutions in Europe over this.
Well, you know, let's go back to Toronto. I mean, the issue of the price of grain has been brought up here too. I mean, if you and it's one of the for a lot of people it's really mundane, but the price of grain can tell you about social stability around the world, not just in Europe here. But let's stay with the what the gambit is here. It seems to me the way events are being played out right now is that again they want to keep Russia out of Europe. Well, I think that's at Europe's expense. I mean, Europe becomes very stagnant. It's not very dynamic. It's supposed to get on board with the Washington's anti-China crusade, which, you know, a lot of people in the U.S., particularly Wall Street, are not particularly interested. A lot of people have made money in China. Very few of those Wall Street people have made money in Russia. Okay, so I think again this is kind of a fever dream here, but it's certainly the United States demonstrating its hold, its hegemony over its allies, and I don't.
I want you to look at something. You will not be able to see the sign. Let me make it smaller for a second. I want you to see how they are putting this across in Russian news. They're saying this arming Ukraine. That's what they're saying. But if you go and look at, let's go and look at the UK papers. Let's look how UK is portraying this. Let's look at how UK is portraying this. I'm going to move this here so we can make that work. Is that it? Yeah. Okay. So they're saying here, Putin bringing back war to Europe. So the narrative is very, very different. You know, and it's important we understand that all of those contexts. That's why we're bringing that to you, to be able to do. You know, we're a bystander, and like I said, many of the things that's been done. There's no point. At no point as you know, as Africans, we don't have there's nothing, we can't play any role in this. We can't. But it's interesting. If it was the other way around, Europe would be telling Africans what to do and how to do their governance and everything else. But they can't. The war between themselves, we're not relevant to it. And that's why I talked to us about us solving our own. The idea behind me saying what I said is for us to start looking at solving our own problems minus external forces. We need to solve our own problems ourselves. We need to ensure we achieve that self-determination to be able to build a better future. The three places I mentioned, the three regions I mentioned to you, Middle Belt, Igbo, Yoruba, they are the most populous part of the entire contraption or African of Africa. That's where the most of the population lies. Those three regions, over 180, 190 million of the population is in those three areas: Middle Belt, Yoruba, Igbo. Go and check it. All of the other countries of Africa, they don't have anything close to what we have. So we have that. That is something we need to begin to understand. You see, when we look at the numbers, we begin to understand that we have what we need to do is encourage our people via collective effort to go for self-determination. That's what I wanted to bring to your attention. It's very important we look at those things. Go and look at the whole of Africa. None of them comes in close in terms of number. Maximum population in Africa in most countries 20 million, 30 million, 40 million, 50 million. But in one area alone, 60 to 70 million Yorubas, 60 to 70 million Igbos, 60 to 70 million Middle Belt. Combined 180. That is something that we need to begin to look at. We have to look at our strengths as well. Now let's listen to this for a little bit.
See that it goes in anywhere positive, and certainly trying to knock Russia out. Well, Russia, obviously, as everyone's worried about, will turn east. Go ahead in Toronto.
So let's have a look at what they say for a while.
Turning east, and I think that this must have come into the calculus at the beginning of the operation, because it's clear Putin understands what, how, and when Europe will react. They will, but perhaps in a few months we'll see Europe reversing, because they're going to feel the pain, and the green revolution in Europe is truly under threat now, because this idea of having the conversion to electric cars has been pushed in a much faster way than anybody ever expected, with the European rules banning.
You can see the way the news is being spun now. It's been spun in two different ways. That's what I want us to really understand in all of this. The reason why we're doing this program is for you to understand that the programs is being spun two different ways. We spent the first hour or so hearing the views from the Western point of view. Now, this is not about right or wrong, I'll say. It's about presenting information that we're receiving and looking at it dispassionately as Africans. Remember, as Africans, we don't have a say in what is happening in Europe. We never do. We have never had a say in what happens in Europe. But when it comes to Africa, Europe always has a say. They had meetings where 14 European countries carved up Africa to make Africa what it to underdevelop Africa to the state that we've been underdeveloped to date. So what we're doing now is now looking into the situation. The West on the one hand are saying it's Russia. The Russia on the other are saying it's the West. And what we are doing is looking at it in the middle and looking at what we can learn from this and how this could provide a potential opportunity for us as Africans to perhaps free ourselves from bondage, because whether you like it or not, we are not free in Africa, and that's a plain fact. We are not free. We are still in bondage, you know. Yeah. Please, if you haven't followed ODTV or Oduduwa TV Radio on subscribe, go ahead and subscribe to Oduduwa TV Radio on YouTube now. We truly appreciate you. What we're doing right now, we may even stream this later on again on Oduduwa TV Radio as it's in its entirety. But what we're trying to do now, but that's in Oduduwa TV Radio it's a Oduduwa language. We speak on that platform. You will notice I'm a bit reluctant with using the word Yoruba, because I'm going to show you something about that, and I might do, even in the course of the broadcast, I might do and show why there's a bit of history behind that, and why the word Yoruba did not come into our language until the 18th century, when of course the colonials came. And that is the thing that we need to understand in all of this when it comes to that. But putting that to one side, let us just look at what is being said here. What I'm trying to put to you, and I'm hoping that that will make some sense, is to see how the news is being portrayed. If you are looking at the news and you are looking at it from the Western point of view, you will get one view. If you are looking at it from the Russian point of view, you will get another view. So you almost need to be out of it to step and look at both of them and be able to come to a conclusion that meets somewhere in the middle. That's what I'm trying to say in all of this. So let's carry on and listen to this for a few more minutes, and we might go back to the British one again.
Thermic, fuel-powered engines by 2030 or 2035. I forgot the actual date, but it's ridiculous. So they want to bring in electric cars. Who's going to produce all this electricity? Certainly not wind farms or solar panels. You need that whole pipe dream worked on natural gas. That masked the fact that these sources were insufficient. And then they went along with and shut down nuclear reactors. Germany imports nuclear energy from France because France still has the sense to keep its nuclear reactors going. China is building hundreds of new reactors. So, and of the new type, they're much smaller, much more efficient, and much cleaner. And perhaps that's the only solution if Europe wants to survive, but they don't have the time. Luckily, I think for Europeans, I was actually, one of the first things I did when at the beginning of this military operation was check the weather forecast for Europe, European capitals for the next 2 weeks. It's going to be somewhat a bit warmer and as the spring comes, because I think they had Toronto weather, -10, -15, and so on. The Putin would have had an extra card to play.
Yeah, I mean, when I think of Germany, the sun and wind isn't what I think of when I think of Germany. I think of good cars and beer. Don, let me go to you. We're all told this is in the name of democracy. One of the problems I have, one of the things I have with this issue here is that Ukraine had a democracy in 2014, but the West overthrew a democratically elected government. So, I mean, what is this democracy thing if they overthrew a government? Go ahead.
One of the things that's really useful for people to do, if you go to Wikipedia, as bad as it is, look at the 2010 Ukrainian election. There's a map there that shows either the relative support for Yanukovych and Tymoshenko were the two final round candidates. And to verify that election, by the way, there's also a chart, if it's still up, if the CIA doesn't take it down, of like 7 or 8 exit polls from all over the world that confirmed that that he won the election. And you can see that everything is in blue in essence on that map.
So I am going to be let me just pull that back away, because I don't want to get involved in that news. I'm not that's not what I'm after. So we are only going to, I'm not going to promote, I'm only focusing on what is going to be of benefit to us as a people. So let's listen to this for a little bit more, because they're going to news there that I'm not entirely, it's not something that I want to explore. It's not really going to give us anything per se. One second, let me see what's happening here. Come on. Okay. So there seems to be some sort of delay. So beg your pardon. Okay, you'll come back. I think there's some sort of problem with it, so we're trying to get that sorted out. But in the meantime, the UK that is actively supporting Ukraine. Ukraine is a country that they support in its call for continued support in its self-determination and sovereignty. The UK is not supporting us as Igbos, as Yoruba, Ududua, and as Middle Belt in going for self-determination. There we go.
We will strive for the demilitarization and denazification of Ukraine. Russia cannot feel safe, develop, and exist with a constant threat emanating from the territory of modern Ukraine.
Kiev, Ukraine's embattled president, who must now fear for his job, appeal to the world.
Putin started a war against Ukraine, against the whole democratic world. He wants to destroy my country. He wants to destroy our country, everything we have been building, what we live for.
So far, this attack is working out exactly the way Western leaders have been warning for weeks. The country is being attacked from all directions, and the fear now has to be that some of those Russian troops are heading here to the capital. Some people aren't waiting to find out what happens next. The roads out of Kiev jammed with traffic, most of it heading west. These people don't want to be liberated by Vladimir Putin. After weeks of extraordinary calm, this suddenly looks like panic.
See,
mid-morning and 2 jets fly over the city. It's not clear whose. It seems only a matter of time before Russia controls the air and much besides. Paul Adams, BBC News, Kiev.
Okay.
Well, yet again, in the early hours of the morning, Ukrainians heard from their president urging them to remain calm, although these are extraordinary times. And in the past hour, President Zelensky has again spoken to the people of Ukraine. Let's just hear what he had to say in this latest.
The reason why we are watching this broadcast, so I'm going to pause it there. I want to go back to the the Russia news. But we have to be fair.
Going on with Russia right now, because those are the people that elected him, and where it's red, you're going to have support for what's going on in Kiev because they voted against, the candidate of the Party of Regions, Yanukovych, and.
Let's have a look at this. Just trying to get
their independence from Kiev shortly after the 2014 Maidan coup. And they have, its claim, been repeatedly shelled ever since, leading to numerous civilian casualties. Now, both republics say they will liberate their territories still under Kiev's control. Up until now, they'd only held about half of that area. And President Putin says Russia recognizes these two states as defined by that map. Now, the Russian President Vladimir Putin announced the decision in a nationally televised speech, saying there's no intention to occupy neighboring Ukraine.
With accordance to the Article 51 in the 7th chapter of the UN Charter, with the sanction of the Federation Council, and according to the Friendship and Mutual Help treaties with Donetsk and Lugansk republics, I have decided to conduct a special military operation. The goal is to protect the people who for 8 years suffer bullying and genocide from the Kiev regime. And for this we aim for the demilitarization and denazification of Ukraine. We'll bring to the court those who committed multiple sanguinary crimes against civilians, including Russian citizens.
So again, can you see the news, how it's being portrayed? Now the question again, please do call in if you want to call in. What should be our approach, those of us going for self-determination, in view of the fact that Ukraine's right to self-determination is being protected by the West, including the UK. But our right to self-determination as Yorubas, Middle nation, and as Igbos and as Middle Belt, is being denied by the actions of the very people that imposed that contraption on us. Remember, I keep telling you, they want to deepen the partnership with Nigeria, and we want no part of Nigeria. But when we talk about Nigeria, they are including us in that partnership, which we do not want any part of. We want no part of Nigeria. So the question I'm asking is, what is your view on that? Somebody came up with a suggestion that maybe we should reach out to Russia to be able to put pressure so that we can go on our own way. We can have Yoruba and Oduduwa nation, the Igbo nation, and Middle Belt. What is your take on it? Do you have an opinion? How do you see it? Let's have that discussion among ourselves. I think this is the kind of thing that we need to be involved in. We should be bringing this kind of attention to what is going on. We're not looking at it from the point of view of, we are looking at this from a purely Afrocentric point of view. What can we take? What can we deduce from this ongoing war? What is attack? What can we deduce from it? What can we learn? How can we push forward as a nation to achieve what we want in terms of self-dependence? Who are those who are Niger Cup now? They are, is owned by, it is British owned. A British company. Run by one of them, George Goldie. So somebody asked a question, I'm going to try and give them a bit of background into that, George Goldie. So this is where Goldie. So when you are, in fact, this is going to be George Goldie. So I'm going to give you that information now. So at this point, I'd like to urge you, those of you watching, if you're watching the broadcast, you're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth power. What I'd like you to do for me in all of this, subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. You'll be doing us a great favor. It would really be helpful if you could do so. But I'm going to try and raise. Sorry. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. Give me a minute. Sorry. It just went off. It went off for some reason, but we're back. Okay, let me just put it back here. Sorry about that. I keep doing that. I don't know why. Yeah. So now what I was trying to show you before we go ahead is to. Okay, I've got it now. I think, yeah. Please subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. Go ahead. The link is right there. It's on the. It's in the. It's pinned there. Just go ahead. Subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. Subscribe to ODTVR on YouTube also. We very much need your support. Now, somebody asked a question in the in the thing here. They said, asked me, the Royal Niger Company was sold to Nigeria, Britain for £865,000. Yeah, on UK government. Yeah. Exactly, Nigeria is owned by UK government. Who are those Royal Niger and where do they come from? They come from UK. So let me just quickly go into that. There is a guy that is called George Goldie. So I'm going to bring that to your attention. So it just gives us an opportunity to provide further context into what is being said. I'm going to leave this here for a second. So I want you to have that information. That is what it is still being protected till date. You saw it, Royal Niger Company. That was what the northern and southern Nigeria. You know, you see that. That's on the 1st of January. It says here, the ceded territory together with the small Niger Coast Protectorate. You see, when they say ceded, it means that those who are within that territory, they have given up power to the British. That's what they did to the when they made Lagos into a colony in 1851, when they killed the king's arms and our defense. They destroyed them and they killed them in the reduction of Lagos in 1851, I think it is, and then they signed the treaty in 1852. Exactly what they did. They came in, destroyed our defenses, and forced the king to sign the treaty, ceding, taking power from us on our own land and giving it to themselves. So that's the same thing here. The ceded territory means that they've defeated all of the people who are there, taking power, and now they created Nigeria. So that's why I say with authority, when I say to people, yes, you're right that amalgamation happened in 1914, but the actual territory was taken over by the 1st of January 1900. That was what happened. And let me read it to you. The ceded territory together with the small Niger Coast Protectorate, already under the imperial control, was formed into two protectorates of northern and southern Nigeria. This was all the way back on the 1st of January 1900. All the way. 14 years before the so-called amalgamation. This already happened. So it's important we understand and really get to understand what is really happening. Yes, of course, amalgamation was the official thing whereby they put the name Lugard. Lugard is just a messenger. Lugard is just a messenger. The key point is that the territory was ceded. They was forcibly taken over as at the 4th of January 1900. Now here's the man that was involved in all of that. I want to, those of you who may not have that background, so that I want to bring it to your attention. These are things that we need to really be aware of in these times. So when people talk about Nigeria, you see, I'm giving you the date at which Nigeria began. 1st of January 1900. No ifs, no buts, no debates. That is it. So you can pinpoint, you can go back to when they actually created Nigeria. Amalgamation happened in 1914. official document. The unofficial document and the date on which they took over the land, Northern and Southern Protectorate, 1st of January 1900, by this man. Let me bring you that now. Sorry, the system is a little bit slow, so it's not responding as intended, but we will rest assured give you as much information as we can, as and when. In the times that we're in now, we should be looking at how we are going to achieve our aim of self-determination. If Ukraine can achieve self-determination, tell me why Yoruba nation cannot come alive, why Biafra nation, Igbo nation cannot arrive and come alive. Tell me why Middle Belt nation cannot come alive. Ukraine have the right to self-determination, and we will support that, yes. And we are saying at this point, this is the opportunity for us. The war here that is probably likely to happen affords us an opportunity for us to press ahead and get self-determination in Oduduwa nation, in Igbo land, and in Middle Belt. Those three. Because what is being done is an imposition. Let me just put this here. So I'm going to read to you now. We're going to read into the George Goldie story a little bit more. There is a little bit. Do I have to actually do into it? Yeah, maybe. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, let's do this. It may not work. Now let's go back up. Let's go back up here. There should be a picture of him somewhere, and I will show you how he came to be. That's George Goldie. That there is George Goldie. That is the man that was sent. He was sent by the British to take over the entire land in the north. He was sent to take over the north and prepare the ground for uniting the Northern and Southern Protectorate. This was after they couldn't really do that. They couldn't really do what was done in 1914 by i.e. amalgamation, because of the war and the discussions that were still being had with Germany at the table of the Berlin Conference. Yes, they both agreed, and there were still wars. You see, they signed a treaty. Many don't know this. All of the European countries. Have I got a picture somewhere? Let me send a picture in. Sorry. Let me send a picture in to show you what I mean. Sorry about that. Okay. Where is it? Let me send a picture in. I want you to have a clear picture. You need to have a clear understanding of what is happening, so that you don't fall into that trap. I'm going to put this here anyway. So again, there's a message behind that anyway. Again. So now let's do this now. I'm just going to show you. So because you need to have the context and understanding of why all this was happening. Many of us don't, and I'm hoping that we can provide that opportunity this evening. Where is it? Sorry about that. I'm just going to try and give you a bit more information, because somebody asked a question, and it's always a good opportunity to provide some kind of not a wholesome answer, because nobody knows it all, but hopefully at least it gives you an understanding of where we're coming from and what needs to be done. So just like the question again, what steps has been taken? The question was asked earlier on. Anybody knows what step has been taken by the Nigerian government to get our people back home? Does anybody know? As you all know, I don't think that is a top priority for the Nigerian government at the minute. They don't tend to care about most of the people that tend to go away. Most of the people that tend to go away to live in the other countries around the world are Southerners. And so that's not the priority. A government that is bringing in Fulanis to take over the land across the whole of the South is not likely, in my opinion, in my own humble opinion, to look at you as a way to... Oh shit. Hello. 1 second. Yes. Hello? Oh, you? I'm in the studio. I do beg your pardon about that. Yeah, so, oh, sorry, the thing is playing up. I hope there is something going on. Beg your pardon. Oops. I don't know what's happening here, but just bear with me. Bear with. What is going on? What's going on? I don't know what's going on, but just bear with me. This tends to happen sometimes. But hopefully it will come back. I'm waiting for it to come back, and I wanted to carry on and discuss something with you. So hopefully it will work. If it breaks for a reason, I'll come back. If it breaks for any reason, I'll come back. So if it breaks for any reason, I'll come back. Rest assured, I will come back. But because it seems that the screen has frozen somewhat, and I can't seem to move anything away from there as we speak, which is rather odd. It's suddenly slowed up. I don't know why it's doing that, but I wanted to make sure that we were able to have that discussion. I wanted to just show you this thing quickly because of the question that was asked before. I wanted to show you this thing here, but let me see. That is here we go. Well, we're back now. So let me do this quickly, and you will see it come up. So again, this is in answer to the George Gold, who owns. The question was who owns. Question. Let me see that question again. That means that Nigeria defeated a king's. Yes, that's correct. At time to take over Yoruba land. That's correct. Olayiwola. That's what they did. Yeah, they defeated them or forced them. They turned them into vassals. They made our kings to become slave kings by taking away their powers and all of that. That's what happened. That's right. So I hope that makes sense to you. Now, yeah, sure. Ozinzegu, I don't have a doubt about that, but I'm telling you, as a land, as a territory, that is what we're faced with. So let me just show you this. Where is it? Now I'm gonna bring something up. You will see it come up in a minute. You will see it come up in a minute. Okay, now I'm bringing this up, and I will show you. That's another story on its own. So here we go. Now, the pictures you see here now, in 1884 to 1885, December 1884 to February 1885, the 14 European countries were in a meeting called the Berlin Conference. Berlin Conference 1884. Yeah, I'll find the name of the person who was the head again at the time. Berlin, go type it in. Berlin Conference 1884. You will see why this is very important, and it's important to this discussion because that is the genesis of what is happening today, till today in Africa. So here we go. Now, okay. So I just wanted to find the name of the guy who was there. Yeah. So there was a German chancellor at the time, and I want to mention his name because it's important to connect all of this. Otto von Bismarck. Yes, I remember. This guy here is Otto von Bismarck. So now, when in 1884, between 1884 to 1901, they signed a treaty. That treaty, among the 14 European countries, the treaty was, and let me read you the names of the countries. Let me read you the name of the countries. I'll read it to you if I can find it. Let me read it to you. This is the time for us to learn. It's an opportunity to learn what's been done. let's go here. Yeah. So now the 14 countries are, listen to this, 14 European countries. Yeah, they dismantled the kingdoms in Africa. 14 of them, they signed together and they set about dismantling the kingdom in Africa. They gave themselves the power to go in and destroy and dismantle our kingdoms without our kings present. At that meeting, you notice there's no African face at the meeting to sit down while they were carving us up. They were arguing among themselves about, okay, if I take over the land, you can't take it over. What agreement are we going to have in place to prevent you taking it over once I take it over? Because when one person will come, the Portuguese took one land, and then the English will take it, and then the French will come, and then the English will come back. So they were having that war about our land, about African land. So they came up with the treaty. Now the 14 countries that were involved at that time were, and I'll read it to you. They are, at the time, Austria-Hungary. Austria-Hungary was one nation at the time. Belgium, Denmark, France, Germany, Great Britain, Italy, Netherlands, Portugal, Russia, Spain, Sweden, Norway was one country. Turkey, United States. Of these, France, Germany, UK, and Portugal were the major players in the conference, controlling most of the colonial Africa at the time. So you can see what's happened now. Of the four that were controlling Africa at the time, let me mention them. The four were France, Germany, UK, and Portugal. Portugal has lost out. Germany has lost out. UK and France control majority of Africa as we speak till today. Go and check it. I mean, these are, it's not, I'm just stating facts so you understand, and I'm going to now bring in the link as to why I had to mention this. You see, as at 1901, that treaty that they signed to prevent any, they had signed a treaty among themselves, and that treaty was that once you lay claim to a territory, nobody else could come and claim that territory. So they had a time limit for that treaty to be in place. It had to be done by the beginning of 19th century. It had to be done by the beginning of 19th century. So they were hurriedly all rushing to lay claim to a land and to take it over and to win it and to be theirs. So Britain hurriedly laid claim on the 1st of January. They took that claim once George Goldie won it. Once George Goldie not won it, once he so-called, this is what he did. Let me show you what George Goldie did here, because they were, you can see, and you can get inklings from it. You see, from 1884 to 1890, Otto von Bismarck was a persistent antagonist and the strenuous effort he made to secure Germany in the basin of Lower Niger, Lake Chad. So you can see that there's been some problems between themselves about our land. That is what is happening. I'm giving you, these are some things that often people are not aware of. So when you hear the name Nigeria, you don't often understand, and they are doing everything they can now. And that is why they're doing everything they can now to make sure that it's not dismantled. Because as far as they're concerned, we the cities, we Africans, the land doesn't belong to us. They are trying to still stick to this agreement that they reached at the Berlin conference. That is what it's about. And it's until we understand that as a people, yeah, free Oloyes Onegbohu and all of those who have been illegally arrested should be freed. But I'm just bringing this context to you. So now, so you can see now, Edward, who traveled to Nigeria in 1882 under the auspices of British Company, was sent out in 1905 by newly formed colonial society to secure treaties for Germany and establish Cameroon. You see, many people would not know that Cameroon and Togo used to be land that belonged to the Germans and other places. But after the First World War, when Germany lost that war, Germany, part of the deal they had to reach was for Germany to give up those countries. That is why it went into the Cameroon is now speaking French. Togo is now speaking French. But these are stories that many don't understand about the fact that this is what was done. And this is what the UK is trying to come back and actually make sure that they keep hold of Nigeria, come what may, because of our resources. This is all about resources. You need to understand, what you see behind me is what they're after. Now, okay, so now, because of that, they were hurriedly, they were rushing to make sure, meanwhile, maintain constant pressure on the British government to compel Royal Niger Company to a division of sphere of influence, whereby Great Britain would have lost a third and most valuable part of the company's territory. But it fell from power in 1890, and in July, Robert Gascoigne Marquis Salisbury concluded the Heligold Zanzibar territory with Germany. The aggression of Germany in Nigeria entirely ceased. You see that? You see that? So this is what, the aggression was ceased and the door was opened for the final settlement of the Nigeria-Cameroon frontiers. These negotiations resulted in an agreement where initiated by Goldie as means of arresting advance of France into Nigeria from the direction of Congo. Can you see all of this time? It's not about us, it's about themselves. This is about Europe and the sphere of influence. It's not about us, the people. At no point. I'm trying to show you this so you understand exactly what has been done here. Now, by considering Germany along that old strip between Adamawa and Lake Chad, to which he had no treaty claims, a barrier was raised against French expeditions, semi-military and semi-exploratory, which sought to enter Nigeria from the east. Later, French efforts at aggression were made from the western Dahomey side, despite agreement concluded with France in 1890 respecting the frontier. So you can see, this is where now, during all of that, that was where Goldie was sent in, and he killed as many Fula princes as possible. And under the guise of treaty, they killed them, took over control of their land, forced them to be trading with only UK, not other countries. Because when they say they are trading, well, you agree to trade. We Africans understood it to be trade among equals, but for them, it's not trade. They control us. We didn't understand that. We ought to do. I thought when we signed, and that was why the Benin King, somebody would have called his name. He refused when they signed that treaty. He said, "No, this is my land," and they deposed him. They deposed him to Calabar because he did not agree with that. But for them, treaty meant that they took over the land. For us, treaty meant we were doing business, trading. But for them, treaty meant that we signed over our power to our own land. Important we understand many of these things. But many don't understand what this is. Trickery, pure trickery. I'm just showing you the background. Now, okay, so now France in regard to the frontier became acute, complicated intervention of British government. In negotiations which ensued, Goldie was instrumental in preserving for Great Britain the whole of the navigable stretch of Lower Niger. It was, however, impossible for a charter company to hold its own against a state-supported protectorate of France and Germany, and consequence 1st of January 1900. Because of the continued interest of Germany in this. This is how Nigeria is created, I'm telling you. Because Germany and France were muscling all they could, because they knew that was an important area. So quickly, UK made it into one. They paid Goldie, the British government, in this parliament, paid Goldie £865,000 to make it a northern and southern protectorate. What do you mean protectorate? Protectorate from Germany and France, not from us. We are part of what they call goods. I hope you're following. So this is where you need to understand. That is why this is so important. This area here, let me read it here. You see, it was, however, impossible for a chartered company to hold its own against a state-supported protectorates of France and Germany. And in consequence, on 1st of January 1900, Royal Niger Company transferred its territory to British government for the sum of £865,000. The ceded territory, together with the small Niger protectorate coast already under imperial control, was formed into two protectorates of the northern and southern Nigeria. So that is how Nigeria was created. So this is very important to understand. Nigeria, they had to hurriedly create that northern and southern protectorate. Now the amalgamation is to almost cement again. Remember, my friends, this is my land. Oh shoot. Okay. So the amalgamation in that case, in 1940, amalgamation was merely a ruse. It was almost like a celebration of the fact that they now own that land. And remember, like I said, in the First World War, when Germany lost, Germany had to give back. They had to give back they had to give Togo and Cameroon. They had to cede it to, I think, to the French and other places. In fact, you will see Namibia was under the control of, if I'm correct, was at the time under the control of the Germans as well. Again, I think if you see that they have to give that up, and I'm not quite sure how. I need to understand how that, look into that closely. But these are the things. So you need to understand, when they say Nigeria, those who are telling you that God created Nigeria, please show them this video. Those who are telling you that it was God who created Nigeria, please show them this video, especially those pastors that tells you to go and pray in the church. I am giving you concrete, indisputable fact of how Nigeria was forced on our ancestors. This was a fight between the British, Germans working together against the British to claim a land that belongs to you and I. God had nothing to do with the creation of Nigeria. Do you understand? Tell any Adeboye, tell any Oyedepo, tell any whoever you want to call, tell them to watch this video, and they should stop telling us to pray for Nigeria. I'm giving you clear evidence that Nigeria was an imposition, and they are back. The people who created Nigeria are back to maintain it and continue it. Look at this. Based on what I've told you now go and look at this. Go and look at this. Let me go here. I'm just showing you there is nothing that you can hide under this earth. Nothing. It will come out. 1,000 years, whatever, it will come out. And this is not even 1,000 years. The secret is out. Now, what is it that they're doing here? You see? UK-Nigeria partnership strengthening our whole security. It's about continued oppression of us as Southerners in our land. And this is the foundation. What I showed you is the foundation. It's the foundation. That foundation has denied our own generations over 100 years. 122 years. We have been denied the benefit to the resources in our own land, all because people who are not from this part forcibly took our land and took our resources and paying peanuts for it. They're fighting themselves over it. It's important we understand that. I hope this makes sense. I hope this is something that people are making sense of. You know, yes, it's a fraud state. It's a bloody fraud state. So I'm telling you, they hurriedly created this. Please go to any church, tell them Citizen AY said that Nigeria is a fraud. It remains a fraud. It is a fraud from top to bottom. They paid money to secure it, to pay the guy for the work he did, and to put the northern and southern protectorate together to create Nigeria, to stop Germany and France from getting it. And part of what happened, because of the disgruntlement of that, of what happened with Nigeria, was part of what World War I was about. All of this is about African territories. It's about African territories. So people say we send people into the war, not realizing that the war we are fighting was about who was going to be lording it over us, Germany or UK. That's where we are. Second World War, Germany wanted to reclaim the land. They still wouldn't let him have it back. Go and check the books. That's what happened. And until we understand, so now I'm saying this now because the World War III is about to happen. We shouldn't play a part in this. So let us make sure we cement and get our self-determination now. Because when they finish their stuff, they are going to come back. They want to make sure either one of them controls us. It's time we go for true independence in Africa. It's time we go for it. So I hope this makes sense. I hope this has been educative. I hope you understand the. So when they tell you God created Nigeria, which God? I'm telling you how it was created. I'm showing you how this thing, what you call Nigeria, this fraud. I'm showing you from top to bottom how it was created. If you don't know this, you will believe the lies. The pastors are lying to you that God created Nigeria. I'm telling you how contraption Nigeria was created. I am telling you the plain fact, undiluted, 100% truth. Go look it up yourself. Read it yourself. £865,000. The amalgamation was merely a cementation of what they achieved illegally between the fight between France, Germany, and UK, and it is part of what brought about the First World War and likely the Second World War. But many Africans don't realize. Oh, I support Germany. Oh, I support UK. I support. In either case, whichever side you supported, it ended up in your own oppression in your own land. That's what we're faced with. That's the reality on ground. That is it. It's not a question of hatred or anything. I'm just stating the facts. So let me move the back up so you can see. I want you to see that. Can you see that? I'm going to go that up because I'm going to read that again. So you can see it. So at this point, I'd like to, yeah, it's a bloody fraud of Nigeria. Exactly. So when they say pray for Nigeria, what are you praying for? This is what you're praying for. When they tell you pray for Nigeria, this is what you are praying for. You are praying for those who oppressed you to remain in power, whilst your own ancestors who they killed, you are praying that they continue to not receive justice nor receive to be redeemed in any way. You cannot pray for Nigeria when you know this. You cannot. There's no way you can pray for Nigeria knowing what I've just showed you. There's no way you can pray for Nigeria knowing what I've just showed you. It's about our resources, our land. They were keen to take it. They are to show you. When we talk about the fact that land is important to us, now you understand. They were prepared to fight each other over something that doesn't belong to them. Something that they want to take control of. And that is why you see today the UK doing this. If I can bring it back again, it will come back. The thing is very slow. That is why you see today the UK. They will do what I just showed you now. Let me go back up again. That is why they want to, now you understand why they're not part of our solution. It is up to you and me who will have to get Oduduwa Nation, Igbo Nation, Middle Belt. Because the British want to protect, as far as they're concerned, they want to protect what they created. They want to continue to make sure it is in existence. Over and deny our own reconnection to our ancestors. And that's a plain fact. It's not about hate. I'm just telling you pure facts. Let's read. Let me go back and read it. So you can see now that you've now understood about George Goldie, Royal Niger Company, UK, now you can now understand why the British Commission explained that the visit will take forward the effort by both countries to build on UK-Nigeria partnership and strengthen strong security, anti-corruption and economic ties. What they mean is they want the existence of Nigeria come what may. They do not care about our clamor for self-determination as Oduduwa people, as Igbos, as they're not interested in that. They want that Nigeria because that is where they're getting the money. They're taking a lot out of that contraption, and we the people are not benefiting. So I'm just bringing this to as many people as people's attention as possible, so that we are aware. So now let's I hope that is informative. let's go to the next point. I want to just bring again. Let's just see what they're saying on the sorry. It is very, very slow at the minute. Something is going wrong. I don't know why. But anyway, let's hear what they have to say on this now, because there's something going on. There's clearly, and it's important that we hear both sides of the story as standby, as bystanders, because we are bystanders. Europe will never let Africa come into that discussion. Like I said, I'm yet to see an African president or African coming into discourse or coming to be part of the discussion and to say how they can solve European problems. But it's interesting, Europe appoints itself adjudicator to solve African problems, and we don't say anything. I'm just trying to make us to look at things and really understand that it is really time for us and the coming generation. We need to wake them up to know that you have the power to make this change. You don't have to wait for anybody. You don't have to be somebody's whatever, somebody's lapdog or whatever they want to call it. We must make our decisions ourselves.
Listening to what President Zelensky had to say.
So let's have a look.
His main message is now.
He gave us a bit of detail, Lise, on the fighting that's happening at the moment. He swapped his dark suit for a military uniform. Behind a podium, he said, the sound of the new Iron Curtain that's falling and closing Russia from the civilized world. That's the sound he described of this fighting. Our task is for that curtain not to fall on Ukrainian territory.
Amen. That's also Sunday. Thank you. God bless you too, my brother. I hope we all learn from this. God did not create Nigeria. 1st of January 1900, UK horribly created it because to stop Germany and France getting their hands on it. No, God had nothing to do with this. Fact.
The most problematic area is in Kherson in the south of the country, and that's where Russian troops apparently have moved north from annexed Crimea. In the north, he says the enemy has continued to push into the region. He describes heavy fighting at Chernobyl. He also talks of troop losses, as well as captured Russian soldiers. He said lots of Russian aviation and vehicles have been destroyed, and we see that many Russians are shocked with what's happening. So he's given us a bit of a debrief on what has been a devastating day for Ukraine. There is other fighting happening as well. Antonov Airport, 30 kilometers from here, Ukrainian forces say they've launched an artillery attack on Russian paratroopers who have landed there and tried to take control. So it's still a messy picture despite this operational pause that the president speaks of.
And that's quite ominous because this Antonov Airport is not that far.
So let's go here, and we're hearing what they're saying again, only for context purposes and balance purposes. Again, as Africans, we don't have a say in what is going on. We don't have a say. I'm just trying to show you on both sides. So let's see what RT is saying, because it's so important to provide context, because sometimes you just going to do one side alone. We may be given a wrong, it's only fair to do both sides. We don't, I'm not condoning on what's happening. Let's have a look. So that's in RT. RT, important to mention, support is Russia News or whatever they call it, Russia Television or something, and BBC is British Broadcasting. So they all have, it's the same thing that they're both doing. They're creating and projecting their own narratives, and that's one of the things that we fail to do as Africans. It's time we start projecting our own narrative of where we're going.
Plan to occupy Ukrainian territories.
Well, meantime, Ukraine is severing diplomatic ties with Russia over what it calls a full-scale invasion. Ukraine's President Vladimir Zelensky claims his country did not choose the path of war, but offered ways to restore peace. And he made some further accusations against Russian forces in a tweet.
The Russian occupation forces are trying to seize the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. Our defenders are giving their lives so that the tragedy of 1986 will not be repeated. Reported this to the Swedish Prime Minister. This is a declaration of war against the whole of Europe.
So how did we get to this point? The Minsk agreements obliged both sides of the Ukrainian conflict to withdraw weapons from the front line. Thousands of civilians live in the so-called grey zone as essentially unwitting witnesses and victims of the ongoing conflict. It's been raging now since 2014. The RT documentary has made a film about people who have been living in the zone for 7 years. We'll show the full version later in the program. For the meantime, I should warn you, a warning, you might find some of the scenes rather disturbing.
Alexander Leontievich is one of the grey zone's most popular residents. He's the only electrician still here after civil war broke out in the settlement of Alexandrovka. For him, the front line starts just outside the gates of his own house.
Каждый божий день и на Шевченко вчера тут 11 числа вызывали, то 10 числа я был. Там перебиты были провода, сделал. Тоже на лестнице пришлось лазить. А чем перебили? Ну, работает снайпера и с крупнокалиберных каждый божий день.
Wow.
Alexander keeps a special notebook where he records every one of his calls to repair power lines damaged by shelling. In the last 7 years, it's become a real chronicle of an undeclared war.
9.05 обстреляли Александровку с пулемета в 6:00 утра. Не было света, перебиты провода. От столба к дому. О, 13.05.
Oh my gosh, he's lost fingers.
Шахты 10. Поселок 16.
I'm just showing you this to give you context in all of this. It's about, you see? So,
there's no entry in Alexander's diary for January the 16th, 2015. That was the day his family was killed by mortar fire.
Взрыв там, где я был на даче. Там нас было 3 человека, майор и с полиции, гаишник и товарищ по соседству, то же самое. Первый взрыв получился там, где мы были, но только вовремя мы отключились. Отключился я и сразу упал за забором.
I'm not going to play too much more because I want to make sure that both of us, we are all aware, that we're all aware, everything that you see happening there, destruction, killings, oppression, suppression, is happening every day in contraption Nigeria. And the people who are supposed to help us, the British, they are only interested in keeping that place as one to continue to exploit the resources. And we, the people, are suffering. Many people, if we have our own self-determination, many of us who are abroad will come home. We will be home. We would, the resources are there. The resources are what you see behind me in the picture above my head. We have resources in 6 out of 8 states in Oduduwa Nation. There are gold. We have 42 billion tons of bitumen used for making roads. There are other mineral reserves, phosphates, you name it. Look, we are blessed beyond compare. What we are saying is we want to go back and build our nation. We want to be we are ourselves freeing ourselves from the bondage that we're in, freeing the coming generation from being slaves in their own land. To have a foreign name imposed upon you and be called Nigeria when your ancestors are called something completely different is unjust and barbaric to be happening in 20th century. We have the right to self-determination to determine that we want to go our separate ways via a referendum. So I urge us all, please join in this clamor. I thank you, my brother, who called twice and the discussion in terms of suggestions as to how we can use the current situation as a way to perhaps free ourselves as people from the bondage that we're in. Talking to Russia at some point and saying, okay, look, we want to go. This is what been, the British clearly are not listening, and maybe it's talking to them. Maybe that would allow others to truly make sure that we get out and independent, because we don't need to be in foreign land. We have a lot to achieve in our own land. We have a lot to achieve for the to do. We have a lot of work to do to prepare the ground for the coming generation, as Igbos, as Middle Belters, and as Oduduwa people. And what we're saying is we must give ourselves that opportunity by way of a referendum. Do not go and be campaigning for an election, a fraudulent election. Nigeria is a fraud. I've explained to you the basis upon which Nigeria was created. Nigeria was not created by God. It's a lie. Unless you're telling me that God, unless you're telling me that the colonials are God that created it, then I'll say fine, that's what you want to believe. But I don't believe in that. I believe my ancestors, Yoruba or Oduduwa ancestors, they are the ones who created Ile-Ife. The Igbos have their own ancestors, and the Middle Belt have their own ancestors. The Nok Empire, many of our art and things are all over Europe from our ancestors, and we're not allowed to remember them. We are not allowed to remember and know these things. We are being told false stories, false narrative of who we are. It's time for us to reclaim that. This war happening between Russia and Ukraine is an opportunity for us as Africans to now focus on and solve our problems as Africans on our own. We don't need intervention. I strongly believe we do not need intervention. What we need is a collective will, collective force to stand together and say no more. And we are going for self-determination, and that is the way forward. We will continue this discussion. We will continue talking about it. I hope you found this beneficial. Please don't forget to subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. We would very much like you to help us continue to grow the platform. We'll be back later on and have more discussions, but for now, what is left for me to say is just to encourage you to please subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. Leave comments. If you found this beneficial, please do make sure that you tell family and friends about it, and so that we can continue to put the message out there. It's very, very important that we do not allow we don't be silent, because the injustice is just too much, too much. It's too much. And I think one of the things we have to start doing in all of this is to make sure that we speak truth to power. We encourage our people to stand up and play their bit. Do your bit. Now you found out this information, don't leave it to yourselves. One key thing I want you to know is that the Nigeria that they had then is the Nigeria they're trying to keep now. And that Nigeria was not created by God. It was the Berlin Conference. They were fighting among themselves about who was going to lay claim to the most precious part. Our land is the most precious part. Let me show you what I mean, just in case you may misunderstand. Let me get you that bit again. There's a bit I want you to home in on, to understand how important, how valuable our land is. And we don't know that till today. Somebody's telling you God created Nigeria. God created Nigeria. Before Nigeria was created, our ancestors created a land of milk and honey that is beneficial, and they could see that. They saw it and they wanted it for themselves at our expense. It's important we understand that. Let me just show you this bit again. Hopefully it's going to come now. Yeah, so now here we go. So you can see now they are here. So can you see that? I want you to look at this now. Meanwhile, I want you to listen to my words. Oh, as you're living, listen to these words, not my words. Meanwhile, Bismarck, let me just see if I can. Okay. Sorry. 1 second. It's a bit slow, but we'll get there. Meanwhile, there we go. There it is again. I just want to just show you the thing. It's important to get that story right, and I wanted to just go back there and show you 1 second, because it's very important. So when they tell you God created, God didn't create Nigeria. He didn't. It was created by the colonials, you know, and they were fighting among themselves. Okay, 1 second now. Not that's it. Sorry. Oh, 1 second, please. I will find it. Okay. Here we go. Listen. Meanwhile, listen to those words. I will try and get it up there if I can. Yeah, here we go. Meanwhile, Bismarck maintained constant pressure on the British government to compel the Royal Niger Company to a division of spheres of influence, whereby Great Britain would have lost a third of the most valuable part of the company's territory. Most valuable. Can you now see why Britain will not let go? Most valuable. My people, make me wake up. We are the blessed land. We are the blessed land. They know it, but we don't. We are the blessed land. That's why I'm putting the pictures of the resources in our land behind me, so you are reminded of who you are. You've forgotten. Wake up. You've forgotten, my people. Make we wake up. Most valuable. This is, look, most valuable. Valuable. Most valuable. Our father never one day tell us anything like this. All they do is lies and lies like Muhammad. Exactly. I'm telling you, look at the words again. That is what they are fighting for, your land. Tell me, what are the Fulanis trying to do now? Is it not our land they're after? Is that not valuable? Doesn't that tell you that the land is valuable? So whilst you are going up and down shouting Jesus Christ, Holy Christ, Father, Allah Wapa, it's not going to give you anything. Your land is what they want. It is there in black and white. You can see it yourself. It's not my words. I'm just showing you so that we wake ourselves up. I am showing you so you know what is going on. Wake up, my people. Please wake up. Oh, make una wake up. Oh, I beg una. I beg una. Sorry. I don't know what's happened there. Yeah. So please subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. You truly will be helping us. It's on there. Go and subscribe. Help us grow this platform. The information that you're seeing is not something you will see on other platforms. And it is something that will change your mindset. It will make you throw away, literally throw away all these religions. It won't have, I'm not saying throw it away, but it will not have so much hold on your mind, because those religions have been designed to hold control of your mind, so you never know the real truth. You are believing in the lies, and you think that the more you believe in it, the more you'll be saved. You can't be saved. It's a lie. A lie is one thing. It's a lie. It will remain a lie. 1,000 years from now, 1,000,000 years from now, 1,000,000,000 years from now, a lie is a lie. But this truth that you see in front of you is a truth. It will remain the truth forever. They can't change it, because that's what happened. And I want you all to know that. And that is why we are here, opening your mind, opening your eyes. Nigeria wasn't created by God, except they want to tell you that those who are telling you it was created by God, tell them to come and look at you in the eye and compare and explain that based on the evidence I put before you right now. Nigeria was created because they wanted, the Germans and the French wanted the most valuable part of the territory. To stop them, UK created it, and they put it before them. Look, we created it. You have to accept it. God wasn't involved in the creation of Nigeria. I'm telling you that now for a fact. Tell whoever, Oyedepo, Adeboye, whatever, TB Joshua, late TB, or whatever, whoever they call themselves, God did not create. Stop this nonsense about God creating something. This is the fact here. These are the facts I'm putting before you. Tell any of them to come and debate it with me. Let's have an open debate on air. They know they can't face it. These are the facts that you're looking at. So when they tell you, oh, Nigeria, this Nigeria, nonsense, a lie. This is it. That land is valuable. When are you going to wake up and realize that? Igbos, Middle Belt, you Oduduwa people, wake up. It is about your land. Most valuable part of the company's territory. They are even calling us, our land, a territory. But there's the same people. Look at the words. Territory. We are not even companies. We're territory to them. We're territory. We're our people, us, the people, the land, we're territory. But the same people call us territory. Now want partnership. What do you think that partnership will be predicated on? Domination, oppression, suppression in our own land. I'm not saying for anybody to dominate the British in our land here in the UK. I'm not saying that. The British must protect themselves. But the same protection that they give themselves from being oppressed and suppressed, we must do the same in Oduduwa land, in Igbo land, in Middle Belt. That's all I'm saying. And particularly as Britain is supporting Ukraine, we don't need their support. Let us be. We'll be fine. We're fine on our own. Stop interfering in our business. Stop interfering in our lives. You've destroyed us and held back our development long enough, is what we're saying. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you found this useful. Please subscribe to Citizen AY. I'm going to stop. We'll be back in about an hour or so again on Oduduwa TV Radio and on a program in Yoruba largely. But it is something that would be of help. If you're getting this broadcast, please do share it. Thank you very much. I hope you found it beneficial. Please give us thumbs up every time you go to Oduduwa Citizen AY on YouTube. Give us thumbs up, like the page, share it. The more you share it, the more information will get to people. We need to wake our people up. You can see from what I've told you now that any talk about Nigeria being created by God is a lie. It's a blatant lie. They hurriedly created it because they knew that if they didn't, the French and the British Germans would take over that land. Nothing. No God created Nigeria. No God. It was a fight among the colonials. Fight among them. Force them to quickly put a name down to stop the others fighting them over it. And they're still having that fight today to try and make sure they lay claim, because it is the most valuable part. Our land is the most valuable part of the territory. Are you following me now? Are you getting it? I hope you are getting this message. If it resonates with you, go now to Citizen AY on YouTube and subscribe. Make this video go viral. There is a lot of information to unpack. Watch it again. Leave comments. We also encourage you. What should we be thinking of now in the times now that Ukraine and Russia are fighting and Europe are focused on themselves? Is this not an opportunity for us as Africans to finally free ourselves from the bondage we've been placed in our own land? I put that question to you. What do you think? What suggestions you have? Let us hear it. Let me just roll this up again, because I want you to read that. This should be in your mind. Whatever else you do. Meanwhile, Bismarck maintained, Otto von Bismarck of Germany maintained constant pressure, which means that they were fighting wars among themselves to compel the Royal Niger Company to a division of spheres of influence where Great Britain would have lost the most valuable part of the company's territory. So they consider our ancestors, the land of Ile-Ife, Igbos and Middle Belt, as territories to be conquered. In your eyes. And the same people who said that still want to come back and say you form a partnership, and you accept that. We are justified in going for self-determination. I do not stop, nor would I put any threats towards the British existence in their own land. In fact, I would join in. I'll be quite happy joining and ensuring that that is protected. But what we cannot do as people is to engage, to participate in the destruction of our own ancestors, the destruction of our own history, the destruction of our own heritage in our land, and think that we are one part of a country that was imposed on us. Nigeria was not created by God. Our ancestors created this land. Ile-Ife, Europe for Oduduwa people, Igbo land for Igbo people, Middle Belt for Middle Belt people, including the Knox. That is the message I want you to take from this message, from what is being said here. Our land is valuable. Our land is valuable, and that is the plain fact. If you can spread this message, make it go viral. We want to wake up as many people as possible, because if you understand that Nigeria was not created by God, and that's a message we need to spread. It's a message to make people understand that the Nigeria was created was to remove. We are seen as a company. It is there in black and white. Our land, our people are seen as profit. The name Nigeria is a company name by this evidence. They are telling you a nation. You're not. This is the evidence I'm putting before you. Wake up, my people. It's time to wake up. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put a stop to this here. I'm going to bring this to close now. Thank you very much, my sister. Thank you. Yeah. Tell Lady Joshua. Exactly. So now I just want us to really understand those words there. If you can, I'm going to try and see if I can even take a screenshot of that and actually put it out there. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that right now, because I want you all to understand that your land is seen as a profit. You and your land are profits to them. You as a person don't matter. Your right, your human rights, your right to self-determination, they don't care about that. They want your resources. And if you are given rights, they can have access to those resources. That's the point I'm trying to make tonight. I hope that makes sense to you all. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. As always, I urge you all, subscribe to Citizen AY. Subscribe, hit the notification link, give us thumbs up, share it. Make this message go viral. I look forward to talking to you soon. I'll be up later. I'll be back later to give you some more updates. In the meantime, thank you for watching. You're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. As always, before you go, do something for us, please. If you can, if this will let me do it. Okay. Subscribe. You know the message. Go ahead and subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube, the platform where we speak truth to power. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. I'll be back later on. Thank you and goodbye. For those of you on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. I'll be putting this link up. I want you to understand what has been done. You need to understand Nigeria is a fraud. The message there, please do share. Thanks for watching. You're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Please make this go viral. Thank you and goodbye. On my sheet. Oh, for me time. This girl is it's good. She's waiting for me here. My son Coco. So what's happening with this? Why is it? I don't get that right. So